Two evaluators listen to the same coaching session. One says the coach demonstrated strong presence. The other says presence was inconsistent. Neither is wrong. They're just measuring against different internal standards. And that's the problem the PCC markers solve. They give you a shared set of observable behaviors to anchor your evaluation so it stops being about what impressed you or what you do differently. Before we get into the markers themselves, I want you to hold on to one distinction that runs through everything in this module. We are not evaluating coaching style. We are evaluating coaching skill. Style is how a coach shows up, their tone, their pacing, their personality. Skill is what they actually do, and whether what they do aligns with observable criteria. Your job as an evaluator is to see the skill clearly, regardless of the style it arrives in. So what does this training actually build in you? It builds the ability to evaluate a coaching session and land in the same place another trained evaluator would. Not because you agree on style preferences, but because you're both anchored in the same observable behaviors. When two evaluators can listen independently and reach consistent conclusions, that's not coincidence. That's calibration. And calibration is what makes the credential credible for the coach receiving the decision, for the profession, and for every client who trusts that credential means something. This framework is used globally. Evaluators across different cultures, different coaching traditions, different languages, all working from the same behavioral criteria. That's what you're building here. Not a personal opinion about good coaching. A shared, defensible standard you can apply with confidence anywhere. So what exactly are you looking for when you evaluate a session? You're looking for behaviors, not intentions, not energy, not whether the coach reminds you of someone you admire. Each marker describes something a coach does that you can point to in the recording. It ties directly to one of the ICF core competencies, and you evaluate it across the full session, not from a single moment. A coach might demonstrate strong active listening in minute 3 and lose it completely by minute 20. You need the whole picture. Equally important is what markers are not. They are not personality traits. A coach who is naturally warm does not automatically meet the markers for cultivating trust and safety. And a coach who is quieter in style doesn't automatically fall short on presence. You're also not running down a checklist, ticking boxes. This is a qualitative read of the session, observed or not observed, grounded in what you can actually see and hear the coach doing. This distinction is on the slide because it anchors every decision you will make as an evaluator. We are not evaluating coaching style. We are evaluating coaching skill. Style is personal. One coach pauses for 10 seconds before responding. Another reflects back almost immediately. Neither approach tells you whether active listening is happening. The skill is what you look for. Did the coach demonstrate understanding of what the client communicated? When you hold this standard, you protect the evaluation from becoming a mirror of your own coaching preferences. You stop rewarding coaches who sound like you and penalizing coaches who don't. That protection matters. It's what makes your evaluation defensible. Not because you liked what you heard, but because you can point to what the coach actually did. You might assume that because you already know about bias, neutrality will take care of itself. It won't. Neutrality is something you do deliberately across the entire session. The moment you stop paying attention to your own reactions, preference starts filling in for evidence. A coach says something that lands beautifully and you feel yourself leaning forward. That's the moment to pause and ask whether you're responding to skill or to style. This takes self-awareness that goes beyond knowing your biases exist. It means catching them in real time, while you're evaluating before they shape your determination. You are choosing, marker by marker, to hold what you observed against the standard, not against what you would have done in that chair. Put these side by side because the difference is where every evaluation either holds or falls apart. Evaluation means you can point to a specific moment in the session, connect it to a marker, and explain how it does or does not meet the standard. Preference means something landed well for you, or didn't, and you're building your determination from that feeling instead of from evidence. A coach asks a question that strikes you as clumsy. Before you mark anything, ask yourself, am I reacting because the question missed the marker or because I would have asked it differently? One of those is evaluation. The other is preference wearing evaluation's clothes. Your job is to know which one you're doing before you make a single determination. Everything in this video comes down to two disciplines you carry into every session you evaluate. Separate skill from style. So the coach in front of you gets measured on what they actually did, not on whether they sound like your idea of a good coach. And separate evidence from preference. So every determination you make can be traced back to a specific moment in the recording, connected to a specific marker held against the standard. When you do both of those consistently, your evaluation protects the coach, protects the credential, and protects the client who trusts that credential to mean something. Next, we look at how a PCC evaluation is structured, the two overall qualifiers that gate everything, the 8 competencies, and how competencies 1 and 2 are evaluated without numbered markers of their own.